And you can be sure that the markets are going to carefully watch developments on tax reform. David Nelson, Chief Strategist with Belpointe Asset Management, is here. Hey, David, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so you're saying that basically the markets have priced in tax reform. Are we that confident?
I'm not sure. I don't think tax reform is a lock at this point. Look, the markets have been counting on it, and you could kind of see that starting in September. That's when the tenor of the market started to change as tax reform started to hit back into the news cycle. We continue to hit the all-time highs, and when the markets get nervous about tax reform, that's when they start to head south.
All right. Well, obviously, the other big news that we're going to talk about right now is this deal between CVS and Aetna. Incredible news overnight.
Yeah.
As you see, all these reports coming out yesterday that Amazon's going into the pharmacy business. You had these two companies merging. This is pretty jaw-dropping.
It's probably not surprising here. Aetna was probably looking for something with the failed merger with Humana. And CVS sees Amazon coming. Amazon has very much validated the retail space with their takeout of Whole Foods. So drug delivery was probably the next step for them. So I think CVS is making a wise choice here. They want to become a vertically integrated company. They'll have retail, PBM, pharmacy benefit management. You add insurance to that. And this might have a better chance of getting through because there's not a lot of overlap between the two businesses.
Oh, that's interesting. You think regulators might be a little kinder to this one?
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, Cheryl, and they'll have to weigh in on this. But, you know, just looking at it from the 30,000-foot level, it could happen. But Amazon is just literally marching across the country, you know, literally devouring everything in its path. And it kind of reminds me of Walmart a couple of decades ago. This is maybe one of the most dangerous companies in America. And I honestly think that at some point those in Congress will actually look at Amazon and maybe rethink antitrust laws because there's no stopping this behemoth right now.
It's funny you bring up Walmart because who can forget the $4 prescription story with Walmart? Yeah. So they're all kind of getting into the business. Really quick, we've got GDP coming out today. Yeah. This kind of goes back to politics because, you know, President Trump has been very clear. He thinks that, you know, if you get tax reform done, and he says it's going to happen, that this is going to fire up the economy. But the economy might be already kind of fired up. We're going to know later. What do you say?
Well, 2.4% is good, and that's kind of like what the street is looking for. I see ranges 2.4 to 2.8. But I think he's right. I think tax reform is important. We have a 77,000-page code that actually encourages our companies to offshore a lot of their manufacturing, their cash flow, and sometimes even the entire company. So I think it's good news if we get it. We have a 77,000-page code. What I hope is that we don't get so complex in trying to fix it that we end up adding a couple of thousand pages to do that.
More importantly, David, what are you going to be for Halloween?
You know what? I'm a Superman guy. When I was a kid, I used to like dress up. I had a lipstick S on my shirt and a pillowcase under my jacket for Halloween. So maybe I'll put it back on.
I want pictures for Twitter. David Nelson. It's good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here.